Hey YouTube, my name is Eve the Weave. Please like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna be talking about the young boy that fell off the ride in Orlando. And we're gonna be talking about the whole situation. Now, I'm gonna let y'all know right now, it's a warning. This video is very graphic. And I'm telling y'all now, they are snatching the video down for a reason. And I'm gonna point out every reason why they snatching this video down off the internet. I'm going to show you something. This is the beginning of the video, and I want y'all to pay close attention to the girl that's on the ride. They are all on the same ride that the boy was on, that the boy fell from. Now, look at the video. If you look at the video, you can see she asks us about the seat belt and why it don't click in the middle. You have to listen very closely.
Y'all ever been on there before?
Megan is.
I never have either.
That's great. There's one of us fucking.
You know how you're going? 430 feet.
That's great.
Coming down 75 miles per hour.
Why does it have like the little click switch? Like the seatbelt? Yeah.
Can you guys really... I work at Hunt House and I can feel myself. You see my red balloon up there to be ready? You off it, you'll drop.
Did he said it ain't any? That's what he said. She asked about the seat belt that clicks. He said it ain't any or something like that, he told her. The point is she asked about it. Now, if you look closely and look at her weight, look at the weight to the next person, look at the weight to the next person. They are not the same size as that boy that fell off of that machine. I feel like this ride needs a weight requirement because he was already in panic mode. Now we're going to watch the rest of the video and then we're going to go into what the father had to say to the news. And that's way more important too. Let's get to it.
Yeah,
make it go faster than 75.
Oh, there's more people in here. We're going to put it on at 80.
Is that like an invite or?
It's $12, man. Yeah, it's not that bad.
It's not that bad? That's alright. I want to keep my food in my belly for now.
I'm just trying to share mine with you. So, if you come back down.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, let's step up.
If y'all look in the corner, y'all can see the other guy that fell in the corner. God bless his soul. Now they're going up, right? They're going all the way up 430 feet. And when they're coming down, they're going to be coming down at 75 miles per hour. And if he is 6'2", standing, and his weight is 232, whatever, anything over 220, I feel like nobody should be on this ride. Even down to the young lady that asked about the seatbelt, because that means she felt some type of way. If she asking you about a seatbelt, she already in her feelings about the whole ride. Now let's go to the other video. Now, this is ever, nobody has not shown y'all the picture of the young man and how he looked it in his seat. This is how he looks in his seat. Now, do this look like it's safe and secure to you? And y'all wonder why he fell out? Because see, here's the thing. The only thing that's like covering him is the thing that goes over his head and over his shoulders. He cannot hold himself in no slippery fucking chair. The chairs are slippery. You cannot go that high up and think that he's not going to fall and slip through. Now look at the next picture I'm about to show you. And here's the very moment as they are coming down. In mid-air, he slides from underneath. Remind you, the thing goes over his shoulders. Does that mean he can slide underneath, right? Now, I'm going to go to the clip on the news where the father says, the father says that his son was already complaining to the friends about the seat and how he felt uncomfortable and how he said, if I don't make it off this ride alive, tell my parents I love them. Right then and there, he already was feeling insecure. So that's not one more person. That's one more person feeling some type of way about this ride. And I want y'all to hear exactly what the father says about the ride. Let's get into that. Now, let's get into what the father says about the ride. You see in the red bar, the family. He was already panicking when he was going up. He was already panicking. And if y'all look at the video, when the guy is, when earlier in this video that I'm talking on, if y'all look at the crew member talking to the girls about the young lady about the ride and all of that, you can see him trying to like secure his seat inside the ride. You can see him and his friends talking. The crew member never goes over there and checks on that on everybody. I would be pulling everybody's seat to see if they strapped in the right way. He never goes and checks it. He never goes and asks them how they feel. He never goes and says anything to the boy and his friends. Look at this clip. Pay attention.
A 14-year-old falls to his death, causing chaos among the people still stuck on the ride. Fox 35 with video of the incident on the brand new Orlando Freefall Tower.
At first, we thought it was a piece of the ride.
And during the middle of the ride, the guy just came off.
The teen falling out of his seat as the ride plunged towards the ground, still hundreds of feet in the air.
We got a little closer, and it was actually a person laying on the ground.
Fox 35 with live team coverage.
Now, y'all see how big this boy is. I understand there's a lot going on, but y'all see how big this boy is? He plays football. He was never supposed to be on that ride, because even down to the young lady that asked about the seat belt, she looked kind of thick to me too. And for her to ask that, she already felt some type of way about her weight and being on that ride. You understand what I'm saying? People just don't ask questions just to be, talking to hear themselves talk. You have to pay attention. And sometimes, people, you have to listen to your gut. If your gut is saying no, don't never go against your gut. Because his gut was already telling him. And that's why he was already in panic mode before they even went up on the ride. But let's continue.
Of the fatal fall. Tyrese Sampson was from the St. Louis area. He played football and had hopes of going to the NFL. He was visiting Icon Park in Orlando with his friend's family. Now, the mystery remains. How did this tragedy happen?
We did obtain video of the fall, which we're not going to broadcast, but the discussion between the workers after the accident is very important. Take a listen.
Did you check it?
So here's what we know so far in this case. Orange County deputies say that Tyrese Sampson fell from the Orlando Freefall just after 11 o'clock last night. He was rushed to the hospital where he died. At 12:30 this afternoon, the sheriff said that the death appears to be an accident. Then our crews saw ride inspectors at the scene at around 1:30. That ride is still closed.
We have live team coverage of...
Now, you hear the guy and the girl in the background. She runs over to her, runs to the crew member and asks him. Now, that's the video that they are deleting on everybody's social media accounts. They're deleting it. They just deleted it out my phone because I have a whole full video and I tried to post it. They wouldn't even let me open it. This is a whole nother recording. That's why the box is so small, but I'm going to try to zoom in when I'm cropping the video or whatever. But anyway, here's my thing. It's not no accident. I don't believe it was no accident. I believe y'all was thirsty to get money because didn't the boy say it cost like $12 or something like that to ride that ride? Y'all was thirsty for money. Notice how it's not a lot of people on the ride. Y'all better peep game. It ain't no accident. That boy wasn't supposed to be on that ride. That ride should have had a weight requirement. Height and weight. It should have had a height and weight requirement. Because obviously he wasn't supposed to be on that ride. But let's keep listening.
Of the fatal fall at Icon Park. Fox 35's Valerie Boyd talked exclusively with the teen's father. But we begin tonight with Holly Bristow. Holly, you have been looking into what went wrong yesterday.
That's right. And for much of the afternoon, an inspector from the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs was right back here at the Orlando Free Fall ride. They actually took the ride from where it is mid-air all the way down to the ground. The inspectors spent quite a bit of time down there paying particular attention to this seat that it is believed that this teenager fell from. They were taking measurements. He was taking the harness device, putting it up, putting it down, tugging at the device. They were taking measurements. At one point in time, the inspector actually got in the actual chair that the teen was in, and they were taking more measurements, trying to get to the bottom of exactly.
Now, you heard what she said? The inspector was tugging on it and taking measurements. They already trying to cover their ass, is what it sounded like to me. Because here's the thing. He got in the same chair that the little boy got in. Here's the thing. Here's the kicker. And if I'm the boy's lawyer, the family lawyer, this is what I'm going to bring up in court. If the man is not the same height and weight as the little boy and he didn't go up in the ride and do the same thing that the boy was doing, it's not going to work. You have to have the same weight, the same height, and damn near the same body frame. Okay? You cannot be a skinny person and say, well, I tugged on it and it opened for me. It didn't open for you because it was all the way closed for you because you're not as big as that person. But if you think you're going to try to play us and say, oh, well, we tugged on it and we did all this inspection to it and it didn't happen when we did it. But y'all see the picture of the boy when his harness is not even all the way closed. Y'all seen that picture. Y'all seen it. Y'all seen when the girl asked about the seatbelt situation. So they doing all this inspecting and taking everything off of social media so you won't have to freaking look at it. But we're going to continue.
Exactly what happened and how this 14-year-old boy wound up sliding out of that seat and unfortunately to his death. The Orange County Sheriff's Office was the first investigating agency on scene, and here is what Sheriff John Mina had to say.
Our role in this situation is to determine whether or not this is an accident or intentional act, and this does appear just to be a terrible tragedy.
Now, amusement rides do fall under the category of the Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Affairs. They're the ones that come out here and do the inspections before these are actually cleared for people to ride on them. Those were the inspectors that were out here today. It's unclear exactly how long this investigation is going to take. It could take weeks, it could take months, but we'll certainly keep you posted on any updates we get from them. For now, reporting live on iDrive, Holly Bristow, Fox 35 News.
Holly, thank you. And the Orlando Free Fall is a brand new ride at Icon Park. It just opened up at the end of December. At 430 feet high, it is the world's tallest freestanding drop tower. It takes people slowly into the sky and then drops them at speeds of up to 75 miles per hour. And the same company has similar rides at other parks across the country, like the Drop Line at Dollywood. They tell us they've closed that ride for now until they know more about the accident here at Icon Park.
And the sheriff says the teenager was visiting Orlando from St. Louis with another family. Fox 35's Valerie Boyd continues our live team coverage. And Val, you spoke exclusively with the boy's dad today. What did he say?
That's right, John. The victim's father, it's very emotional. The father, Yarnell Sampson, says his 14-year-old son, Tyree, was on this ride with two of his best friends when the tragedy occurred. They were visiting from St. Louis. His 14-year-old son, Tyree, was on the free fall ride with two of his best friends.
When the ride took off, that's when he was feeling uncomfortable. He was like, this thing is moving. You know what I'm saying? He was like, what's going on? That's when he started freaking out. And he was explaining to his friend who was next to him, like, man, I don't know, man. If I don't make it down, I'll say to man, please tell my mom and daddy I love them. Like, you know, for him to say something like that, he must have felt something.
He says his son is 6'5" and 340 pounds.
But this one particular ride decided, yeah, we can take you. Come on, get on. You know, when nobody else allowed him to get on the rides. So I wonder what happened between now and then that made him say, come on.
Now, what made his father say, oh, they wasn't allowing him to get on the rides before? You know why? Because those rides had a height and weight requirement. And see, with the news, they edited it, but they didn't catch that part. Let's go back to what he just said, though.
You can get on this. Daddy, I love it. Like, you know, for him to say something like that, he must have felt something.
He says his son is 6'5" and 340 pounds.
But this one particular ride decided,
6'5" and 340 pounds. 6'5" at 340 pounds. I'm 6'2", and he's husky. I'm 6'2". I don't look like I'm 300, almost 300 pounds. But when you're tall, that adds more weight. And like I said, he's already husky. I already showed you the picture to how he was looking in the ride. He did not look secure to me. So what made them want to say, yeah, you can get on this ride? They wanted them to pay for that ride, to get on that ride, because that ride was not making no fucking money like that. And that's what I'm talking about. You see how they tried to get the man that's filming, they tried to get him to get on the ride. And that's why he said, what is that, an invite? He said, I'd rather keep my food in my stomach. I just want to see how they going to come down in their faces. Right? Right.
Yeah, we can take you. Come on. Get on. You know, when nobody else allowed him to get on the rides. So I'm wondering what happened between now and Daddy, I love it. Like, you know, for him to say something like that, he must have felt something.
He says his son is 6'5" and 340 pounds.
But this one particular ride decided, we can take you. Come on. Get on. You know, when nobody else allowed him to get on the rides. So I'm wondering what happened between now and then when made him say, come on, you can get on this ride.
He says they should have stopped the ride and wants answers.
This should never happen to nobody else's child ever again. And if I have something to do with it, it never will happen again.
Yarnell says Tyree had an amazing future in football and had hopes of playing in the NFL.
14-year-old young man, he was an honor roll student. The young man had a bright future.
And back here live, Yarnell says he plans to find out what happened to his son. He also says it took 10 minutes for an ambulance to arrive on scene, which he says took too long. Of course, we are looking.
And I told y'all that in my first video, the one that they won't let me open up. They were all standing there in shock. And I understand that it's a shock when he fell. But here's the thing. Nobody rushed to that boy's aid. Nobody rushed to his aid in my first video. And that's why they taking it down off social media. I wish I can really upload that freaking video. Because I would. I'm telling y'all. They did not rush to that boy's aid. They stood there in shock. And that's why when they said it took 10 minutes, they should always have somebody on call, some type of ambulance service on call in case anything like this was to happen. Now, you heard what the father said. He said they wasn't really allowing him to get on no rides like that. You know why? Because like I said earlier, all rides, I don't care what amusement park you go to, they have a height and a weight requirement. Here's the thing. Y'all wasn't making no money like that on that ride. You can see it's not a lot of people on that ride. Y'all can see it. It's not a lot of people on that ride. So that means y'all didn't make no money like that for that ride. They wanted more people to get on. The boy wanted to get on. His friends wanted to get on. But they knew they should have just not have taken that boy. Because they knew he was too big for that ride. He looks like that in his chair. And this is why they snatching it down off of social media. You see how he look in this chair? Do he look like he can fit in this chair? First of all, even if, now let's just be clear. Now I've been to amusement parks. Even if the thing had to click in the middle like the white girl was saying, the lady was saying in the beginning of my video, if it had to click in the middle, a seat belt, anything, he still wouldn't have been able to fit in the ride because it would never never clicked in the middle because he's too big. That's why the ride is not closing. The harness is nowhere in the world you trying to tell me. We're looking at this video right here. It's no way in the world you're trying to tell me that this ride right here was safe and secure for this young man. You see how all the rest of the there's no seats. There's nobody in those seats. That ride is supposed to close just like that, freaking lock. The young man says, the crew member says, I checked the lights. The light was on, basically saying that the ride seats was all secure. But he did not go over to those group of boys and check their thing because he was too busy talking to the young lady about the seatbelt. So therefore, this is a whole lawsuit. You can snatch whatever video you want out of the sky, but this is a whole lawsuit. This is an accident, but this needs to be put on more awareness. This ride needs to be closed down. If y'all not going to do y'all jobs and y'all due diligence to check the people, to make sure, fuck a light. A light can be stuck on green. That don't mean it work. That don't mean the light is working. That don't mean shit. Just because the light was on and it says that everybody was secure, obviously everybody was not secure. You should have went over there and tugged on it. I'm not worried about it. I'd rather him be stuck in the chair than to the chair to open up like it did and if him flying out of the chair. He cannot fit in this chair. Truth be told, he looks like he's scared. And I believe his father when they said that he was panicking before the ride even started, because he told his friends it does not feel secure, and if anything was to happen to me, let my parents know that I love them. And that is sad for a little boy to lose his life over an incident like this because they didn't check the height and weight requirement. And notice how they didn't say that in the news. They didn't say that the ride, because even when you go up to any ride in any amusement park, they tell you your height and you got to stand up to it, and they measure your height, and they already tell you it's a weight requirement. This boy already, if he stands at 6'5", that means he's taller than me. I would have never let him on the ride. Me working and me doing my little, I'm not letting you on this ride. You can't fit. Once I would have seen that he was in the chair like this, he would have had to get up. If it didn't lock, if it didn't secure like everybody else's, you got to get up. It's not the chair's fault. It's the person that didn't check on everybody. And that's why they snatching the video down, because if you peep game, it's a whole video. The man has a whole video of them having a back and forth conversation about the ride. And that's the video that they're snatching down off of social media. And it's sad. So, God bless this man, this his family. God bless this young boy and his soul. He did not have to lose his life like this. This is a senseless tragedy that did not have to happen if everybody would have just did their due diligence and just checked on it and had everything that they were supposed to have. Because obviously, I do not think they had those rules up there for the ride, where it has the measurements, tells you the weight, what you can't wear. Because even if you look at the beginning of my video, they made them take their sneakers off, okay, and put them in front of them in a basket. So they didn't even want your sneakers to fly off, because the pressure will have your sneakers and flip-flops or whatever fly off of you. They had them put their personal effects inside of a basket in front of them, so when they come back down, they pick up the basket, their personal effects, and they put it back on. And it's sad that this had to happen. My name is Eve the Weave. Please like, share, and subscribe. Later, YouTube.